Hey everybody, here's just another update. Not sure when this will post, but whenever it does get online, I just want to give people in brief, just the whole kind of story of how God's used this whole thing. And I can almost say I prayed for it. Obviously, as sinners, we all deserve nothing but things that can happen bad in our lives, but through Christ, we are blessed. And we know what our main goal is to die in the faith and be able to go to heaven. And of course, we want all of our loved ones, families and friends to do the same. And God's using us to do that and to strengthen his word to other people. So just in short, it's probably 12 years ago, I played in a volleyball tournament actually in New Orleans. Went back there to compete for a qualifying tournament for the USVA Nationals, and the place that we were in had really heavy paint fumes. I mean, we walked in the building that we had to play in. It was some fancy hotel, I think downtown New Orleans, and I just remember we were all lightheaded like within minutes. So long story short, we played through that tournament. The next day, when I stayed at my in-laws' house that was in Slidell, I woke up and had bad tinnitus in my left ear, was still very dizzy, just was not feeling well. So went to see an ENT that said, you need to get scanned and do this and that. And even back then, when they did a scan, they noticed something very small in the left temporal lobe, but they wrote it off as just a lesion. They tested it with and without gadolinium, and there wasn't anything there. I went to Shands 3 different times with scans and realized, you know what, this is not an issue to worry about. And they said, yeah, don't worry about it unless you really start having weird symptoms. So back then, I've been playing music for all my life, and I've never written my own songs. And that, I never forget that first night when I drove away when I first had to scan locally, even though I had to take the scan down to Gainesville. A good friend of mine actually was working at the company, and even though legally he couldn't tell me what he saw, I could tell from his face that they had found something that he was concerned about. And of course, then you go and you talk to the doctors, and they're like, yeah, we need to do a little bit more digging. You've got something going on with the brain. So I drove home one of those, that I think it was the first night that I really got news and was concerned about, how long do you really have to live, and what are you doing with your life? And I wrote the first song I ever wrote. And I've only written 2, and I'm working on a third one for my brother in his Christian camp that he's working with this time. But this song is called I Will, and it's I'm going to put the words out. I've never really gotten them legalized or whatever the proper term is for music. But anyway, I'll try to continue. So after that event, so we're going back 12 years, I do remember I started to pray. And this is an interesting prayer. And I don't know if this is something anybody else has ever done, but I think God knows. I mean, it was straight from the heart. And I prayed it for many years, was that, Lord, I know I'm leading worship. I'm trying to do certain things at churches, using my gifts that you've given me to give you glory. But I don't feel like I'm doing enough. I'm taking things for granted. I take each day for granted. I take all the things I have for granted. I'm not thankful for them like I should be. So Lord, please help me to appreciate everything that you've done in my life. And I remember praying, and I've done this for years, that even if, I hope it would be something that wouldn't be a major problem, that would make this pop in my head and hit my heart to where I would know, okay, Lord, wow, this is what I can do to serve you. And I always prayed that it would hopefully be something that would just click one day, and then the Holy Spirit would just really fill me more with serving the Lord. Well, that didn't happen, and I got the second part of what I'd prayed for, was if it takes something to be a major thing in our lives that just can seem tragic, but it helps strengthen my faith, then so be it. And here we are, amazingly, 12 years later, and you guys probably already know the story, what happened that one night back in February, going to the hospital and talking to friends now that said they didn't think I was going to make it that night, as weird as the effects were with the brain being so swollen, in addition to the cancer that they found. But whatever the Lord's got planned, my faith's never been stronger. The Holy Spirit is definitely just on fire in me, and I've got these ideas and desires to want to share. And thankfully, I'm able to do these things even with videos and be able to reach out to some people that this may help them if they're struggling with some type of a health issue, or someone that they know that is dealing with that they can witness to and say, you know what, the Lord can use these things. We deserve all this from sin, but the Lord only gives us things that are good. But yet these things can happen if it does the main goal, which is keeping us in the one true faith, and hopefully strengthening those that are in the faith around us. And maybe, just maybe, there's one person that did not know the Lord, that the Lord can use this on me, what I'm experiencing, to get to know who Christ is, and be saved. So that's pretty much the story in general. I appreciate you guys listening. I love all of you, and I just hope that the Lord will bless you and strengthen you in the one true faith and those that are around you. We've got a wonderful gift of God. That's what life's all about, and we need to be able to share that boldly with other people and not be worried about what this world thinks. And that's why I love this particular shirt in this company. It's we are not of this world. This is just temporary, but we are to make the most of what we've got while we have that time to do so, and just enjoy every single day you wake up. Find a way each day to bless the Lord and to share the message of His salvation with others. Love you guys.